Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Eternal SMP. Today we're going to be working on this thing, specifically the living quarters. But with that, we're going to hop onto a creative world for designing because I don't want to do it in survival. So I really struggled when designing this, like I do with a lot of things that are not the size of a gigantic thing. And so it's going to take me a while to build this first living compartment thing. And I'm gonna change things like 100 times. Um, Part of the problem is also that I have no idea what I'm doing, and I kind of forget what will fit like in the spaceship logically. And so I like in a while I put in a kitchen, and then I realized that I'm going off of like food synthesizer concept type thing, and so there's no point to have a kitchen. So then I get rid of the kitchen and I have to figure out what I can actually put there. Which is why I usually only do the big things, and then I have mediocre interior. And so I don't know how good this interior is, but I don't know how to make it better. So this is the kitchen that I was talking about, and I'm gonna build this kitchen twice because at first I was just gonna move the bed there, and then realize that there's really not enough space, and it'll also be across from the entrance, which is like really weird. So then I removed the bedroom, and then rebuilt the kitchen, and then I realized that the kitchen doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I'm just really good at thinking about things. I'm just like so good. Here's where I realized that I needed to make this a lot bigger for me to fit the things that I wanted to fit, and I rebuilt the kitchen before realizing that it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, and here's where I go for the couch because I can put in a couch without it like not making everything worse. And then here I decide to build a dining room because like, they need to have a place to like play card games and like D&D or something. I don't know. Um, but if so I built the bedroom because they need to sleep. Yes. And then here's the room of Dungeons and Dragons, I guess. And then once I realized that space was really not big enough for a table with a proper walkway, so then I decided to make the space even bigger. And then I realized that I could make the greatest thing ever and put in a balcony. Why there's the balcony? Um, it's a great question, but they have a balcony now. It's not really like looking onto anything, but they have a balcony, and I think that that's better than no balcony. Here's where I used my amazing world edit skills to move the thing, and then I rotated it incorrectly because I forget how world edit rotations work, and I didn't even copy the whole thing. So that was great. I am truly a world edit pro. And then now I'm figuring out a way to put in some lights so that mobs don't spawn, but the balcony is kind of in the way. So I figured out something else. So I was thinking about putting in more of these things, but what I realized is that since the uh the ships below are much uh shorter, like in actual height and not length, there's a lot of free real estate that I can take advantage of. So I just removed the floor and then moved it like 5 blocks down. And here is where I realized that I can't keep the side part of the balcony without it looking awful. So it's just a forward-facing balcony. And then here is where I figure out how big I want these to be. Um, and then I guess I'm like searching for some blocks here. It takes me a really long time to find blocks that I look for, which is why half the time I'm just standing in one spot, which is amazing. And here's where I decide that I want to split these like half and half instead of like one floor like per apartment. Because I was also thinking of doing like 3 apartments stacked like vertically, but I decided that's not a good idea. And then here's where I decided to add the greatest thing ever, another mostly meaningless balcony, because everyone needs a balcony. And I tried to fit in another D&D table, but it really just doesn't fit. So I did the greatest alternative ever, a couch. Also decided that the balcony also needs a stair, because what's a balcony if you don't have a stair? Well, I decided to give them another desk, because why not? And then in the main area, I built a D&D table, because that's always necessary. And then here I'm using my amazing world edit skills again to make a giant row of these, because why have one apartment where you can have like 8? I don't know. I didn't actually count how many there were. I guess we'll find out now. So there's one, two. I'm really good at world edit. Um, there we go. It's much so much better now. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. I mean, that was actually pretty close. Just like, guessing off the fact that I have no clue what I'm doing. Here's where I do another row of them, except for offset by one, which is something that I don't realize until I put all of them in and then realize that one of them is horribly overlapping. They're not overlapping, but it's overhanging. So here's where I fix it, and then also get the ingenious idea to just copy all of them and flip them to the other side instead of just doing one, because that's a lot less work. But yeah, since we basically finished building, um, it is now time to switch over to the amazing actual server or whatever, and build things there. So here, I have I use a mod called Lightmatica with another mod that's called Lightmatica Printer, and that just lets me basically place blocks without having to think about it. And I just basically shoot told it to do this layer instead of doing everything because I didn't want walls to be in my way. And part of the irony here is that I've been really enjoying not having a trillion mobs in the hangar because it was like the one area of this thing that was actually mob proof for a while. Um, and then what I went ahead and did is put a giant platform that is not mob proofed at all um, into it. And here's where I tried mob proofing it. And in the creative world, I did check that everything is mob proof. But what I didn't account for is that ender chests give off light. And so there is actually a corner in each of the apartments that is not lit up because I don't have like 20 ender chests to spare. So that's always fun. And so as you can see here, I started the next layer. I just told Nightmatica to render the next layer, and Printer just did that. Now here, because I'm just a PvP boss, um, I get blown up by a creeper. Fortunately, basically all of these blocks are free because I have a concrete duper, so that's part of the reason why I had this skill issue, is because I don't really care. But it's mostly just because I'm bad at the game. But here I'm doing the second layer, and I realize that I have to do something very creative for the last two layers because you can't stand. And wow, it's taking me a lot longer to finish this layer than I thought I would. But okay, here is where I start the third layer, and I realize that I can actually just crawl. And since I have Slow Sneak, it actually is not going to take forever. Um, and unfortunately, I did have to use my brain a little bit because although Printer can be great, annoyingly, it doesn't use like the easy place function of Lightmatica, which gives you like extra block placing range and also lets you place blocks like without having a block behind it, which means that I did have to manually use easy place for some of them. Here's where I'm making all the water holes for the elevator because I still wanted to access all the apartments. And basically, what I was using the holes for is to see down because printer can place blocks without you being able to see them. So I was literally just walking and it was placing the blocks below. Here's where I ran out of white concrete. Luckily, I made like a bajillion gray concrete, and I also just needed a lot less of it because, fun fact, this build in total is over 50,000 white concrete. There's only like less than 10,000 like gray and light gray concrete, which is why I have a lot of those to spare. And here, I actually left to go grab more white concrete. I grabbed like three shulker boxes because I only needed like 5,000 more to finish the roof and like walls in all the apartments. So yeah, and fun fact, a shulker box stores, I believe, 1,728 items. Now here, since I'm just so good at Minecraft, I do lose some more free blocks. Uh, but yeah, as I was saying, when I was building this, uh, shulker box is only storing 1,720 items, or it's something close to that. I'm pretty sure that's the exact number, but I could be wrong, like in the last two digits, which doesn't really affect anything. But yeah, I did have to go on another end raid specifically for shulker boxes because I had like nine, which that's like less than like 15,000 items. I don't know if that's right. It probably isn't. I don't think that it is. I think it's like closer to like 16, 17,000. But either way, that realistically, combined with a lot of them not being empty, just meant that I really just did not have enough shulker boxes. So now I have like, I believe it's like close to like 27, which is like almost 50,000 items. But it's not like I'm getting all of them in one go anyways. So almost 50,000 is good enough. But yeah, so this is pretty much it now, since I'm basically done with building all the things that I would need to build for now. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of the ship, but fun fact, in 2 days, I will be leaving for like a week. So there's not gonna be a couple more videos for a while. But it also means that this is not my problem. And fun fact, depending on if I can get this video released, either today or tomorrow is my birthday. So there is also that. So in the comments, you should totally say happy birthday because it will be my birthday. So that would be amazing. But depending on how long this takes to export and then upload, it'll probably be like a couple more hours of today, which is the day before my birthday. So if you're watching this after like 3 hours, or like you live on the East Coast, then I don't know why you're up, because it'll be like 1 in the morning, but you can would say happy birthday because it's technically my birthday in your time zone. But as you can see, I'm basically done with the roof, which means that this episode is now over.